think we're live. It's always a toss up. I always like with YouTube streaming because I haven't done YouTube streaming until we started doing Serene balance production stuff. So it's always a toss up. I'm like, did it work? Did it not work? Surely someone in chat will tell me it worked in the next minute or so.
It says we'll be live in 1:43 seconds.
Oh, I see. Maybe it's waiting for the scheduled time.
Maybe.
Which would make sense. Maybe I can't go live early if I schedule it at the exact time.
Maybe.
Or maybe it updates eventually and it says, hey, we're live. Oh, it does. It actually does update that we're live. I did not post in the main cord. I will do that right now.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Oh my God, it's so early. Got me rubbing my hands. Oh yeah, we're here. How you feeling?
Whoa, leak? What the? Come on, Chinja. You can go live early. I see. I just wasn't sure how long it would take for the thing to start.
Yeah, we're live right now.
Whoa.
How is everyone doing today?
Hello, good friends.
What's up?
Welcome back to another episode of this Serene Balance podcast. I saw that screenshot of what you said too. That's so funny.
Yeah, this is I guess technically the first Serene Balance production podcast.
Second. Well, first with us. I did one with Richard before Worlds. Yeah. The first one with us though. First time we had.
Hopefully we'll be doing it
AndyK.
a lot more consistently though.
Yeah. I love podcasting. I like yapping, talking about whatever. Yeah, so today is going to be an exciting day. We have received some information from a Mr. Grey Wolf himself that has to do with some cool things like SP2.
Yeah. They had the big announcement for SP2 today. Had a few spoilers. You know, we saw all of the CSRs, and then everyone was like, "Wow, Sonny, this is so cool. Silar, this is so cool." And he was like, "Do you guys want spoilers?" And here we are. We did indeed get a spoiler, and I think a pretty cool one too.
Yeah, so I also got a spoiler for my channel, separate from SVP. And I was like, well, this is really cool. And then you showed me the one that we got for Serene Balance Productions, and I was like, okay, mine sucks.
No, I think yours is sweet, but we're gonna tease everyone a little bit. You know, like we're gonna talk about Taipei, we're gonna talk about some other things, and then we're gonna show everybody. So you gotta sit through our yapping before you get to the goo. You
gotta enjoy the stickiness before you can have all the goo. I don't know. Just me saying things that don't make sense. Anyways, Ascent Taipei. So Ascent Taipei happened almost a week and a half ago now. It was June 8th. It's currently June 17th. We saw some really cool stuff. So this was the first Ascent of the format for MRC. The introduction of Tristan, Shadow Dancer, Shadow Reaver, as well as Sylvie Slime Sovereign. And there were a lot of really mixed results actually in the tournament.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I think we had 6 unique champions, top 8.
Top 8 we had,
or like final build was like Lorraine, Tristan, Sylvie, Rai, Xander allies, Lorraine allies,
and then a hybrid Roland. Yeah, there's a hybrid Roland as well. That's kind of crazy. Like
in all 3 elements as well, 4 elements because we had Norm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to see this much variety and also to see this much wind in the top 8 was really interesting to me. The unexpected thing, as I think a lot of people would say, is like Sylvie topping. I think Sylvie's really good. I really did not expect Sylvie to get 3rd place.
Yeah, no, it did really well because there was only one other. There was another Norm Sylvie. I think there were 2, 3 other Sylvies in top 32 day 2.
There were 2 total for normal Sylvies.
Yeah, I think there was 1 wind.
There was 1 wind and 1 fire. So there were 4 Sylvies in top 30. That's a lot. Like actually pretty good.
Yeah, pretty even conversion rate, I guess. But no, it was nice to see it get 3rd. It was nice to see the both of the recollection decks really say, hey, these are actually playable for new players. These are good. These can be tournament competitive with minor alterations. It was just sweet. Tristan definitely seemed to be more of the star of the show, even though, it did only have it just Team True Champion had both the top 8 slots for it. But it's really cool. We see like old stuff doing well, new stuff doing really well. So like, even if you don't have new cards, like you're still pretty good. You can still have a pretty competitively viable deck.
Yeah, for sure. And then the other thing on top of that, with talking about Tristan specifically, there were a huge variety of different types of Tristan lists. So we saw some that were really low to the ground, very aggressive, very fast. We also saw some that were really, really stally, very control focused, and then just pop into a one-shot. So I thought it was really cool that there's so many different variations of builds for each type of champion right now.
Yeah. Now, there's a lot of room to be creative and build decks like how you want to play the game.
Yeah, like you can have Lorraine with a Glock. American Lorraine pops in, wins the tournament.
Yeah, that was really interesting. I'm glad you brought that up. That Wind Piercer, like a bullet, was in the winning Lorraine list, which is great because like we had talked about it kind of before, where Wind Piercer is probably the best bullet they've ever made, and in a vacuum, the card is insane. No class bonuses or anything. So you're playing heavy wind, it is 2 materializations. You need the prototype pistol already in play, but you're swinging for 4 with that weapon, and you get to do it 3 times.
Mm-hmm. If you choose to as well, you can bring it out on Lorraine level 1 materialization. Since it says materialize a weapon card, you can actually bring the gun out immediately if you want to push a little bit faster with that. But yeah, like we said, Wind Piercer in a vacuum is a fantastic card. Has the potential to deal 3 damage plus the gun already, so power 4 on an attack that doesn't require you to expend a card is something that we haven't really seen in the game yet. It's extremely powerful in an allies matchup. It also lets you glimpse, so you can kind of cycle a little bit, but its real strength is being able to deal with like stickier allies. So we have things like Ace and Protectors that are always really tough to get off the board. A buff countered Frostborn Paladin. It actually gets through a lot of people holding on to favorable wins as well. So Wind Piercer really showed its worth. And when the set came out, that card was cheap, like really cheap.
Yeah.
I think I bought 3 for less than $3 each, and that's an SR. And now they're like, I think they're like $15 now.
Yeah. Another thing I did want to bring up about the deck that won. It's an automaton based Wind Allies deck. Do you think this deck will continue seeing success? One thing I noticed about going through the top 8 list and a lot of the top 32 is not a lot of them were playing reprogram in the side or the main, which caught me a little off guard because I thought this deck was going to be pretty good, and reprogram is an incredible tool against that. Do you think going forward more people are going to be playing that in their sideboard to tech for this?
I think reprogram is definitely a good sideboard card. I think a lot of people are struggling to adjust to the new sideboarding changes. So originally we went from having 8 cards of any type, Regalia, etc., to now we can have up to 15 cards where Regalia takes a three of the slots. I think people are struggling to adapt to figuring out how to utilize a sideboard. So a good example is like me. I'm newer to TCGs. So when I look at a sideboard and I think, okay, I can put 15 slots here, I just put 15. At first, I'd put 15 things that I thought were really good in my deck. Not really thinking about what I'd be playing against, but what I would want to play instead. And I've realized after watching this that my sideboard should be built towards what I think I'm going to play against and why I want to side those things in, right? Like when we look at this top list, we're seeing something like 4 Fairy Whispers in an Allies deck is something I've never seen before. But that's something where you could replace, if you don't need it to dig for defensive cards or specific answers, that could be your 4 reprograms. It could be your 4 Swift Recruits if you need more floating memory, right? Stuff like that. So I think the reason we didn't see as much reprogram is because people are not as afraid of the big boss robot, Overlord Mark III, and also because people are just adjusting and learning to how sideboarding works.
Yeah, I think I completely agree with that. You hit it right on the nose where, this is still a brand new meta on top of a brand new rule change. So it's hitting a lot of people all at once.
Yeah, there's a lot of like new introduced mechanics in the game as well. Like Imbue is a really popular one that's really good now. We have Stifling Trap to deal with things that have on-enter effects. But overall, like there's you know, every introduction of a new set, because the game is so young, provides so much room for growth, the ability to cook and brew different types of decks, as well as different answers to different decks. So it's great to see how healthy the game feels.
No, it really does. I know a lot of people were kind of afraid of, oh, it's going to be all one deck or two deck or even just one strategy, which could be a problem. But, you know, we had control, we had aggro, we had combo all in top 8. So it's really healthy. It's really good.
Yeah, looking at these lists is really great. Also, big shout out to Luxera's Map, as always, for putting the tournaments up there for us, but giving the details so we can look through the top 8 for Ascent. And also, hello to everyone in chat. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. It's good to see you, Flan, Slanik, Khan, Michael Bulk, Cho, Shinja, Michael WLP, and Lamb. It's always great to have you guys. Thank you for supporting us.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. It's kind of a last second. You know, we just got the spoiler not too long ago, so we're like, all right, let's do it.
I'm posting the spoiler.
Shout out to Silodar for giving us the spoiler.
I'm posting the spoiler. I'm just kidding. I'm not posting the spoiler.
Fucking got him.
Just put it on screen. Little fake out. Yeah, the thing that I really can't get over is in this first list, Fairy Whispers in a Wind Allies deck. Like, I understand the concept when you're looking for defensive answers or like a very specific answer, but man, it just feels so strange to me to see that.
And another reason I like, you kind of touched on it earlier, I think that card is like pretty solid, is against a lot of level 3 strategies, you want to find Eternal Magistrate pretty fast, and Fairy Whispers enables that a little more, where you can dig for it. You can dig for Dream Fairy and stuff you need, and there are some matchups where Fairy Whispers are probably just the 4 cards you side out.
Yeah, there's a lot of matchups where it's Fairy Whispers, favorable wins. You side the card that doesn't give you the faster win con.
Yeah.
Oh, Cactus in chat.
Whoa.
Crack Smoker 22. It's Cactus. I'm pretty sure it's Cactus.
Another deck I did want to touch on, someone had mentioned it in chat, is we did have Nico get 11th place.
Oh yeah, the Nico is interesting. So the Nico in 11th place, I believe, was the first match we saw on stream. They played against the Fire Serene Luxem Xander. And it was, I'll be honest, it was a little bit miserable to watch because, so I think they lost, and they lost because they miscounted their lash counters, and they had less than they were supposed to have.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it's a little on the unfortunate side, but I mean, looking at this deck is crazy. I love playing Nico. I have 2 variations of my Nico deck built. I think it's really, really fun to play. It's also pretty competitively viable. It plays well into a lot of decks. The interesting thing with their deck is it's mono water.
Yep, there's no white. It's all blue. Which, one thing interesting to me is like they're also doing on Serene Spirit, which makes Icebound Slam a lot harder to pull off. At 7.
I always wonder if the Serene Spirit is for the glimpse or for the heal in this sense, since because Nico is water herself. Like, I want to say that it's to dig for an early Fractal of Rain, but it also feels hard because, like you said, you know, not enabling yourself to have Icebound Slam is kind of rough.
The other thing I thought was interesting in this deck is no mainboard Frostbind either. So it's really just like playing into everything is water. We've got a bunch of floating memory we're going to get rid of and we're going to mill. Just very interesting. It's a very interesting list. You know, it's like, I'm really glad to see an alternate champion do, you know, pretty well. 1 game out of top 8.
Especially like a non-level 3 alternate champion, right? Like Merlin's been doing well for a long time, but that's because she got a level 3. Whereas Nico here is strictly level 2 and does perform super, super well. I actually kind of agree with the non-mainboarding Frost, a little bit of non-mainboarded Frostbind. I'm a bigger fan of doing like 2 Cerulean, 2 Frostbind, so you have both options. But I feel like if you do Cerulean and Frostbind, it's a little bit overkill.
Yeah, I'm so control pilled to where I'm just like, I want it, you know, all the time.
4 Song of Frost, and 4 Frostbind, 4 Cerulean.
And another nice thing about like Nico into this meta right now was I'm pretty sure the only decks that were running Cleansing Reunion in the sideboard were level 3 decks. So Tristan, there was a Lorraine Crux, but none of like the low to the ground ones were playing it. So it opens up a little more area for you to just, you know, go over those strategies.
Mm-hmm.
And people learning aside, especially like into a new meta, it's like how much do those low to the ground decks even want to play Cleansing Reunion? And like, if you're only expecting,
where's the orchestrated seizure, man?
Where is it?
I think that card's a little bit too overrated. But yeah, no, cleansing reunion is pretty good. It does help you a lot into certain matchups. Like playing that on the level up materialization of like a Xander. If you know they're playing like burn is really effective. You can just rip all their cards out of their graveyard. Yeah, I mean, Serene is good. I think the Recover 6 is probably the best value. I think you only run Serene though if you're playing Fractal of Rain. I think if you don't play Fractal of Rain, there's nothing else in the deck that's good enough to dig for on turn 1 like that.
Yeah, I agree. Fractal of Rain is also just like it's such a powerful card in this deck. Just being able to enable yourself, and no, it's so good. Really cool. I love Nico.
Fractal of Rain.
So
Fractal of Rain.
I love
really
being mill archetypes.
Surely Fractal of Rain's the best Fractal now, right?
Yeah. Oh, I would agree for sure.
I actually go the opposite way. I run Chilling Touch with Fractal of Intrusion. So if I go second and I don't get an Icebound Slam, I can Chilling Touch Fractal of Intrusion and then try to remove like one of their cards.
That's so gross.
It's I don't know, it feels like a bit of a high roll. I guess playing Fractal of Rain probably makes more sense. Longer term value is good. There's a couple new cards in this deck that I think are really interesting. I want to talk about Freezing Steel specifically.
Yeah, let's go for it.
So Freezing Steel says the next time one or more items would enter the field, those items enter the field rested. In that matchup, specifically against Serene Luxem Xander, he materialized Insignia and actually got Freezing Steeled. And that was lethal for him because he wasn't able to put down cards to heal.
That's great. That's so good.
It was like the perfect opportunity matchup for it. It's a 1-cost fast spell with floating memory, and like there's so much easy access to that, right? Like if you have fractals out, you can literally just hold one card and tap your fractal.
Mm-hmm. Not really cool. I like Cell Sharpshooter, being able to just like draw cards that replaces Crusty Archer. Powered Defender in the sideboard, really interesting. Just having like a 1/4 taunt.
I like Powered Defender. It gives you like an alternate win con also. So when you play it, if you're level 2, every time it gets dealt damage, you summon a Power Cell token. To note with that, you also do not summon the Power Cell token rested, which means if they attack it again, you can respond by popping it on your Powered Defender and then retaliating if you want.
Interesting.
You go from being like a 1/4 taunt to a potential 3/4, or even like a 5/4 if you need it.
Man, I would have loved to see this deck in top 8. It's just so cool.
Revitalizing Cleanse is nice too. I actually like the concept of that here.
How do you feel this deck is into? I feel this deck's probably pretty good into aggro, just because you have Vapor Jet Shield and Magebane Lash.
To aggro,
like
burn or like Wind Allies.
Probably more burn. I mean, against Wind Allies, Vapor Jet Shield's really good too. It's like, but if you can get to level 2 and get like any of those out, I feel like it's really, really strong.
Whoa, Glenn Williams in chat. We have world champion Glenny Boy.
Whoa.
Sorry you killed the Nico. Dude, Poan out here slaying the Nico with his, I believe the Wind Xander list actually is the Wind Xander aggro list. Yeah, into burn, Vapor Jet Shield is really OP. Storm of Thorns is really OP. I mean, Vapor Jet Shield is just really OP because you cannot deal with it in any regard except for Meltdown. Burn to Ash can't deal with it because it's a 2 memory cost. You can't reduce it. You can't Rock and Alkalite it. You don't really have a lot of answers to deal with it, right? So the only thing you can do is you can play Meltdown, and in burn, there's no shot you're ever going level 2 and playing a 4-cost card like that. I guess the only answer to it is most likely things like Varrock. You know, if you're later into the game, you can materialize Varrock and then go for big damage.
I wonder how often this Nico deck materialized Orb of Glitter and got a lot of glimpse value off of it.
They did it in the first game. The first game of that series, we saw the Orb of Glitter come out, and I think they glimpsed like 4 cards.
Pretty good.
It's really good if you have Fractal of Rain with you, because since the effects both start at the beginning of Recollection, you can choose the order, so you can glimpse and then mill. So, like, a lot of these cards that before weren't as like valuable, that have like that at the beginning of your Recollection do blank, like they're gaining a lot of value since we have things like Fractal of Rain. We have what's the mill domain? Hidden Enclave?
Yeah, that sounds right.
So we have like more options now, which is pretty cool.
Anything else you want to talk about Taipei?
Ooh, Taipei. I think there was one other list that I thought was really interesting. Number 25. This list was interesting to me for a couple of reasons. One, it runs Mercurial Heart. 2, it is not a Tony list, but it runs Deployment Beacon. And this list is very, very built around the concept of Overlord Mark II with Rallied Advance, I think.
I actually just completely messed this list. I thought I had gone over all of them. It's nice to see an Overlord Mark deck have some success, though.
Yeah. One of the really hard parts about using Overlord Mark III in these decks, from a personal standpoint, I've been playing a lot of Wind Robots. I think it's really fun. You can't use Second Wind with Overlord Mark II, which is kind of unfortunate because it's a spell and he has Spell Shroud. So you have to use the Rallied Advance combo in that sense. And then also, Critical Recovery also does not apply to Overlord Mark III.
Yeah, because it is a spell.
Yes. But
it's really, really annoying.
it is kind of annoying. Looking at this list, though, something that I've noticed about this list that I really like is Rose. I think Rose Eternal Paragon is actually becoming a very good card. And
She's an automaton.
The main reason is because of the fast activation. You can go from having like a really low board state to pre-recollection, flashing in Rose, popping a power cell, and then actually killing someone in the same turn. Like yesterday, I pre-recollection a Rose, popped 2 power cells, manufacture celled, and then attacked with her, second winded, and then rallied advanced, and I hit them for like 26, I think. Like, being able to do that with like it just holding 7 or 8 cards and having like nothing on the field is huge. Like,
yeah, no,
Wind Robots feel so combo-y.
Yeah, I think this deck would probably be, just looking at it, maybe equally as good without the Overlord in the deck.
I think
like,
Overlord is
how
bad.
often
I'll say it.
That was actually his condition to win.
Surely he just plays it because it's fun, right? Not because it's like really good.
Oh yeah, I mean it's sick. You play a big robot.
Yeah, Boss Robot is cool. It's just hard to keep it alive.
It is indeed. One of the things they might be doing with it is it might be just better for like the long game. So if you're going against like Merlin or something, they might have trouble just removing it. And after you run out of steam with like your aggro stuff, you might just be able to Overlord and take over the game that way.
It's true. If there's a lot of different ways for them to get power cells in this deck. Harvester Mark II, Manufacture Cell, Cell Vanguard. 3 very effective ways to get.
Because it gets you draws again, and it builds itself.
Yeah, and it also, because it banishes from graveyard,
losing 4 power
cells
else, is a lot. Nice. That's 8 damage at least.
Yeah, the hard part is that it has Steadfast instead of Vigor. If this card had Steadfast or it had Vigor instead of Steadfast, it would be insane.
Yeah, right? Like, damn.
Oh, losing you, Andy.
Yeah, I don't have. Oh, you're losing me? You're losing me?
You're cutting in and out. I think it's good now.
Okay, well, if I am back, tell me if I'm back.
Oh, you're good. I can hear you now.
Okay. All right, that's I think all I had to say about Taiwan. Some really cool stuff. Love to see Terra finally have some success,
True, true, true.
and I'm just excited to see how Chicago goes.
That was gonna be interesting. Can we talk about how many decks run backup charger? Like even the allies decks are running backup charger over baubles. Like a lot of them at least.
Yeah, I think it's because signing out 2 cards that are like good into every matchup from your main board is a lot harder now because it takes up 6 slots. And realistically, you probably want a 3rd one in there because whatever you sign in is not going to be good into everything. So it's 9 slots, whereas backup charger is just basically all 3 baubles in 1 slot. Keeping 3 cards open like isn't as hard as people want to make it out to be. I know the joke is we have GCR at home, but I mean in a lot of situations it's almost better than GCR. Or equally as good a lot of the time.
And there's so many decks that have at least one, automaton in it. You're playing a win deck, you're probably running like Eternal Magistrate, right? Eternal Magistrate's a really good example.
And so many decks were just playing like 1 turbocharge too. I think True Champion Gaming were both on 1 turbocharge. There was one more that was like kind of caught me off guard that was on turbocharge. But the Sylvie list that got 3rd was also had 1 turbocharge in it.
I'm a big fan of 1 turbocharge. I'm actually a huge fan of that.
So that backup charger like becomes a +2 at the end of the day.
Yep.
Crazy.
It's really nice to run the 1 of turbocharge, and if you're not running a water deck. If you're running a water deck, like it's not as necessary since you can always fracturize it.
Mm-hmm.
But just the ability to have turbocharge is so good as a card. If you hit it, or like if you're running 4 of, you're probably going to like 10 influence on your 3rd turn.
Oh yeah, the Rai was running 2 turbocharge.
2 I think is weird. I'll be honest. I think 2 turbocharge is weird. I think in this deck I'd probably run 4. But I would I also wouldn't want to run regular Spirit of Fire without having a secondary spirit in my sideboard. I think that having Fragmented Spirit or Serene Spirit available on Rai is too important not to have.
Yeah, I might be able to agree with that. Oh, but yeah, no, it's really interesting to see how things going. Because the other thing about turbocharge is it's like never really a dead card, especially this game, because like you can just use it as memory. It's always a land, which is great. But you're probably backup charging most of your game, so it's always that +2, or it's always those 2 cards, +1.
Yeah, I mean, life is such a good resource, right? That we can utilize that extra turn to get the backup charge, to play turbocharge.
Yeah.
To have the influence to turbo to 3 after that.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of ways to slow the game down now, and also on the flip side of that, there's a lot of ways to end the game really fast.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. I'm excited to see how Chicago does. I'm excited to see if something new emerges, or if the meta might just get like consolidated. If someone finds just like a tier 0 deck. I don't think it's gonna happen just because how wide open this game is, but we'll see if it like if we see like all of a sudden Wind is 6 of the top 8 slots, or someone breaks an Arcane Raya or something.
Yeah, I mean everyone's saying that Tristan's tier 0, but I just don't see it yet.
Didn't even win.
I don't see it yet. There's still a lot of ways Tristan can die.
Yeah, anyone saying Tristan is tier 0, I don't think understands the concept of what a tier 0 deck is either. Like
tier 0 is like you have to it beats everything, right? It only loses
tier
to
0
itself.
is like it's the boogeyman of the format. There's like that and like 2 other decks. Like if Tristan was tier 0, there would have been more than just True Champion Gaming with it in top 8. But nope. No, that's quite. One more interesting thing I thought was really interesting is the True Champion decks didn't have they didn't play Gloamspire Mantle.
Yeah, Gloamspire Mantle was interesting. I really like Gloamspire Mantle, especially for the mirror matchup. but I don't know. It's kind of tough to fit in with what they had in their board. I mean, they had no extra regalia at all in their sideboard, right? Their sideboard is 15 main deck cards.
Yeah, which is great, which I think is going to be what a lot of people do, and I think it's probably correct more often than not. And I'm not saying that what Tristan isn't insane. I think what Tristan is insane, but it's not tier 0.
Tier 0 means like top 30 of the top 32 decks is one deck. Oh, I see.
That does happen. That really does happen. Yeah, like Merlin is a really good example of like the closest we've come to a tier 0 format. And even going back, if you look at the tournament results, Merlin didn't actually have that many first places in FTC format, which is kind of crazy to think about. But that's the closest we've come, and FTC format was awful. I hated it, but we survived.
I didn't have a chance to. I didn't have the pleasure of experiencing FTC format, sadly. Maybe we should bring it back.
Bring it back.
We run a Yeti weekly tournament, FTC format only.
All right. What next? I want
to talk about Sadie.
Let's talk about Sadie.
Sadie is a crazy card. And I think the crazy part about Sadie is that the pay to return Sadie to your hand is not locked behind anything. It's not locked behind level. It's not locked behind a class bonus. It's not locked behind anything at all. And I think that is kind of crazy.
No, she's one of those cards that like you can get so much value just getting prep counters from her. And when she does manage to get an on kill, oh, it's so gross. Like I kind of underestimated how many allies this when Tristan was going to run, in the sense of like, you know, they have operative, they have engineer, yeah, they have all these things that help you get to that 3 damage to kill something and get that agility 3, which just opens up so much in this deck.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like Sadie has single-handedly changed the way that you consider a turn. Like if you tap out, you have to know that Sadie can just own you from there, and that's such a dangerous thing to allow happen now.
Yeah, because especially like in this deck, just going to Caven's deck, the True Champion deck, you know, they're playing 4 Mastermind Scheme. They were running really heavy prep counters, and Sadie just being able to do that, just being able to play her and just having 2 mana up, so it's like, oh, you can Fairy Whispers or you can Sadie. It's crazy.
Yep. They have Outlook, they have Sirocco Operative, they have Sadie. You know, the obvious ones like Surveil the Winds, and then just the Mastermind Scheme. They have so many ways to get prep counters.
Yeah. It's a really cool deck. I think a lot of people weren't looking at Operative too.
You like Operative?
I do like Operative. Just with the idea that it's like, it's an on-enter, draw a card in your memory. It's just Tactful Sergeant that is a worse stat line, but it gets you a prep counter. Maybe you have another Automaton ally, which might happen. But
do you think Sirocco Operative is a good enough target to Stifling Trap?
It really depends on what situation you're in. Like, if you can feel your opponent drawing dead and you're not in a position where you think that them dungeon guiding is going to hurt you too bad, I think it's a fine target. Or if you have like an excess amount of cards in your hand, I think it's a fine target. But I think it's super situational, because denying that extra card draw, like basically killing 2 cards for 1 with Stifling Trap, is really strong.
There's like a lot of good value in there. Stopping the prep counter can be valuable too.
You also have to be aware, like, oh, hope they don't like reclaim it either.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting things. I really liked. Okay, I mean, I say I really liked. I hated watching it because I hate fog, but I really enjoyed watching the level 2 Innervate Agility to level 1, re-level up, draw 2 cards repeatedly. Because I thought it was a clever usage of Innervate, as well as like it just allowed you to cycle your deck so fast.
Yeah, absolutely. And this deck like is really built for like cycling through stuff, being able to just be in situations where a lot of level 3 decks can't do this, where if you're not level 3, you still have a lot of play. Like the only thing you are not doing is shadow striking. You're not redirecting with your with your ominous shadows, but a lot of your gameplay happens on level 1 and level 2, and just trying to like reclaim and get a bunch of cards in your hand. And then once you get level 3, you really start taking control of the game. But it's not like if you don't dungeon guide, you're at a massive disadvantage.
Yeah, there's a lot you can do with Tristan. Tristan level 1, level 2 is, I think Tristan level 2 is crazy. I think draw 1 on 2 prep counters, draw 2 on 4 prep counters is just it's such a strong effect, because getting to 4 prep counters or getting to 3 prep counters and then pre-recollection, or sorry, on the stack of the on-enter trigger, being able to gain another one with like Surveil or something, or like return Sadie to hand is like pretty effective.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's a really cool deck. I really, 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 really enjoy it. But yeah, no, I think it's like what I'd like to play. I want to play something that's either like Assassin. I also really like, Xander Burn. I'm not like super in love with the 12th place list, but we're not gonna have to get into that. But I just like Burn.
Sir, that's not a burn list. Just
it's weird.
Just because it has Poison Dagger doesn't mean it's a burn list.
It's like more mid-rangey, which is like awkward. I just want to play just like straight Burn.
Yeah, I mean, let's just put it this way: if you run Gawain and Stalwart Shieldmate, you are not a burn deck. Stalwart Shieldmate is not a burn card, especially if you run Cremation Ritual. Like at that point, you're trying to be Merlin, but you're not Merlin.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool there. Very cool.
So Innervate Fury is a crazy burn card. I didn't know
you
played burn
he
cards
just like
that
went
don't
to
deal
level
damage.
2 and then was like got something back and then was like, I'm gonna Innervate Fury and then just go to level 2 again and keep playing explosives.
I mean, that is a way to find lethal. You need a lot of floating to do that effectively, though.
That's why he's got the shield mate.
True. I mean, this is a deck with 12 floating. Not impossible.
Not impossible.
Okay, but 3 Rococo is not it.
That's how you really know it's not like a traditional burn deck is only 3 Rococo.
Yeah. Speaking of
Rococo,
Rococo,
I want to play 3 Rococo when I play
CSR.
Yeah. Okay, back to SP2 Rococo CSR. What is your favorite SP2 CSR?
My favorite SP2 CSR for art or the card?
Let's go both.
For art, it's actually Freitas. I love Freitas's design. I like her outfit. I like the concept. I like how when you look behind her, and now that it's no longer like a framed art, it's a borderless art. You see the entire framework of all the guns, and I think they look fantastic. So like honestly, Freitas I think has the best looking card overall because of the way that the background accentuates the character. My favorite card is Rococo by far. Not even close.
Yeah, Rococo.
Like
Rococo's
if you handed me a Carter and a Rococo and said pick one, I would pick the Rococo, even though I know the Carter's worth more.
Which is your favorite signature on the 4?
Oh, which is my favorite signature? Okay, that's really hard because
Freitas is not the good signature.
Yeah. Okay, so the Primea Studio Carter one is really nice. Like the Primea Studio Carter's nice because it got the little Carter with the hood and the pointy hood. I think that's cool. But it's hard too because like Guel has such a nice signature and kind of made like the cat out of his signature. But I honestly think I have to give it to Xander, Deft Executor. That signature is kind of gas.
I think I agree. One thing I was a little surprised with about the CSRs is they weren't all different art. Because I think in
I'm
SP1
a little
everything
disappointed in that
champion was
actually.
different.
Is everything different?
Blinding
Steel different or the same?
Say what?
Is Blinding Steel different or the same? I think Blinding Steel's the same.
Blinding Steel's the same because I think the champion.
Yeah, the champion stays the same. So that's what I expected with Deft Executor.
Like, I'm not going to complain about this product because I think this product is still insane. Hopefully, we get a really good box topper. But like, you know, I felt like SP2 is the alternate art set, and having half of the signatures or 3 of the signatures not be alternate art was like kind of weird.
I'll be honest, Freydis almost looks like an alternate art just because you don't see very much of the frame in her actual card. Rococo doesn't look very different because the background itself doesn't have a lot going on. Like, her art is very focused on her as the character, whereas Freydis's is focused on everything. Like, it's the entire framing. So I feel like Rococo kind of got the biggest shaft here in terms of not getting an alt art or not getting something a little bit more unique to her.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, Carter's looks kind of gas.
Carter's is really cool.
Carter in the rain, kind of, you got that main character, end of an anime, post-apocalyptic, rising from the ashes kind of vibe. I'm like, okay, I'm down.
And I mean, Xander Depth Execution is cool, but why would you just use the Luxera's map one, you know?
True. Actually, what I'm most interested in is when I get the real Xander 2 CSR, I'm going to put it side by side next to the one that Amphi made, where he has the shirtless Xander 2, and I'm going to see how identical they look. Because what he did was he AI changed the art to make it full scale and then drew over it for like certain parts like the shoes and stuff. So I'm curious like how close it actually was.
Oh, that's very interesting. All right, let me throw another theoretical at you. How would you have felt if all of the signatures for SP2 were just proxy as vault cards?
Oh, that would be pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie, that'd be pretty sick. Stone Scale Band is like probably one of the craziest cards in the game right now. There's no proxy vault card that's bad.
No,
like, everything is good. Insignia the Korhazi is insane. That card is absolutely insane. Like, there are times where I'll materialize my Luxera's map because I know they're going to kill it so that I can protect my Insignia. Right? Like, that card is crazy. Scepter of Lumina is crazy. Like, that card got you where you went to with Nats. You popped it out, and then you just obliterated people with it. You're like, hey, I'm just going to double Dungeon Guide and kill you.
I wonder if they were at all worried, since they're proxy as vault cards, you can just make a proxy of them. Like, if people like wouldn't like the signatures of them, because they can just print out a signature version as a proxy. Like, I might do that for the signature Death Executioner, is just like make a really nice proxy of it.
Whoa. Andy's gonna get us canceled on our first spoiler. It's over, guys. It's over, guys. We got a spoiler, and Andy's canceling us already. It's Jover. Oh man. I'm just saying, if Xander isn't shirtless, why would I want him on my material deck, you know?
Why don't they just have all of the alternate? Why didn't they have Xander look like Tenora's beat?
That's what I'm saying. You know, the CSR version of the Proxy Vault card actually should have been the 2B version. Actually should have just been shirtless Xander, right?
Yeah. Should have just been.
Or like shirtless Carter. That guy's probably Giga Rip too, you know?
Yeah. So
maybe we're onto something here. Weebs, listen. We could be your new archmage.
Before we go further into SP2, do we want to talk about the other? So there's Cremation Ritual, which was already spoiled, which is awesome. That art is super cool.
Let me pull these up on screen so you guys can see. So these are the CSRs. This is the Cremation Ritual.
Yes. Would you rather play the Square Life promo Cremation Ritual or this one?
Oh, this one. I love Inzali so much. I had the Square Life CPR, and I would much rather play this Cremation Ritual because I think Inzali is one of the coolest characters in Grand Archive that is unexplored, both in deck lists and in its lore. I think there's a lot that we can get from... Cool. I mean, we got so many cool MRC cards that had Inzali in them, right? Kindling Fire. Like, that art is banger.
Yeah. It's nice to see because Cremation Ritual has been such a good card for so long. It's nice seeing it, get some love here. Also, I have a feeling this means, never mind.
Wait, so you can't do that.
I had a thought in my head, and I was like, never mind. That doesn't actually make any sense. So just ignore I said anything.
Oh man, I was totally going to agree with what Verse said in chat, and then Chica just said no. He said, "Can we bug the devs for alter element sites?" And he just said, "It's crazy that he said no because that means he doesn't want a Tristan Umbra site." That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Also, we can talk about another spoiler. I'll put it up on screen here, but
the Gabbery.
The Gabbery spoiler. So Gabbery got Creeping Torment as their SP2 card.
So cool.
This card's actually so cool.
Because so many people, like, I know Diana's not very meta right now, but the idea of, like, people always want foil Creeping Torments. They need, like, 8 of them, 10 of them. And just being able to have, like, an alternate version, like, this uncommon will probably sell pretty frequently pretty well, which is something we didn't see from uncommons in SP1.
This card is at minimum $1 each.
Yeah, I could see this just being $1 each for a long time. And then the foils, like, it's crazy to think that the SP2 foils of this are actually the accessible ones, because there's going to be people who actually have a bunch of these cards in foil that are able to get rid of them. No, I think it's awesome.
Speaking of SP2, since we're talking about SP2, a couple things to note. If you're a tinfoil hat kind of person, or you like doing a little investigating, trying to figure out what all the cards are before we spoil our card, keep in mind that elements are ignored in this, but all cards are alphabetical in SP. In Supporter Pack 1, which means they're probably the same in Supporter Pack 2. And so we know that there's Ascent Protector as number 1, and we know that Carter is number 2, which means there are no cards that start with the letter B.
No B.
No B. Xander's the last card, 25. Kind of interesting. You can go through and, like, do a little math in there and try to figure out some of the cards. We saw Fairy Whispers. I think the Nico card was probably Enthralling Visage, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Let me double check here. We had a bunch of cards that were leaked at Worlds. I just have to find the pictures of them again.
Like the arts or something, right?
Yeah. They gave us 6 pictures. Oh, it was Mind Freeze. That's what it was. Or what I thought was Mind Freeze. Could have been Frost Shard, but I think it's Mind Freeze. So the first picture here, we have what I assume is Fairy Whispers on the left. What I think is either Mind Freeze or Frost Shard. It's probably Mind Freeze. Ascent Protector on the right here. Bestial Frenzy, no Pepe Hands. Pepe Hands for Bestial Frenzy. And then the other ones were Inzalia's Cremation Ritual, the Vanitas for Spell Shield Wind. And I'm assuming that the Arasana one is Potion of Healing. Any thoughts on that?
It'd be interesting because that would mean we got 2 Cremation Ritual promos and then 2 Potion of Healing promos as well. Because Square Life also had a
true
Potion of Healing promo.
Could be something else, maybe. I don't know. The potion one's kind of like up in the air because it's just Arasana holding a potion, looking cute.
I just want to know what the box toppers are.
True. It's definitely not Doodles, right? There's no way it's Doodles. Predictions on box toppers?
I don't think we've seen it. I mean, I guess it could be other Doodles, but it would be kind of neat if they just, like, always had Doodles as the box toppers.
Oh, Serum of Wisdom's a good guess, actually. That card is kind of gas. You like that card, right, Andy?
Yeah, I like that card. I think it's really interesting. I like digging for stuff.
I also really like that the Fairy Whispers art with Tristan is Tristan Grimstalker. Like old Tristan. That's kind of cool.
Refurbish. Slime Doodles would be crazy, but I don't think it's...
Dude, Slime Doodles would be so gas. What the... Arcane Slime Ethereal Slime, Verdant Slime, Lustrous Slime. What else is there? There's no way they do Vampire Slime
No, I don't think
or
they would put
Twilight
it
Slime.
do
They wouldn't
EUR
put the
like
main
that.
cards. Ooh. Oh man, I gotta think about this now. There's so many like cool things
How
that
many
could be
duels
there.
do you think they even made for those? Like,
I think it's gonna
they're
go
just
up
slime.
based on the number of devs there are now. Also, speaking of devs, big shout out to Belt here for putting all of the flavor text on all the cards. I think it's really cool.
Shout out Bell, new dev.
Yup, new dev, very cool dev. Also, put the flavor text on the new Flamer and Swordsman promo.
While we're on flavor text, I really do like the flavor text for the card we're about to spoil.
Yeah.
I think it's really good.
Yeah. You guys want to see?
Are we gonna do a game? See if people can guess it.
Yeah. Was print run announced yet? I don't know. You'd have to double check that with Siladar's Twitter. All right, how do we want to do this game, Andy? For people to guess.
You kind of had an idea earlier, and I just kind of agreed with it.
Okay. All right, let's do this. In chat, I want you to type a number between... Okay, so before I say this, I would like you to be willing to join a Discord voice call with us. Okay? So you have to be... If you want to guess, you have to be willing to join a Discord voice call with us, okay?
Cactus is finally gonna get his time to shine.
So I'm gonna pick a number between 1 and let's do 1 and 50. If you guess the number, I will DM you on Discord, and you'll join the call. You can ask us one question. We'll answer the question, and then you can guess. If you get it right, I don't know. We can mail you some bears or something. I have extra bears I can mail you. Ordinary bears.
We got extra bears I can mail.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. Between 1 and 50.
77. I mean,
No one has guessed it yet.
Cactus with the number to my heart. That would have been the number I did pick, but
Nobody has guessed the number yet still. Whoa.
Bird's Eye with 0, which is between 1 and 50.
I'm sorry, guys. Instructions were too hard, I guess. Man, you guys are really bad at guessing numbers.
There's only 50 of them, guys.
You know, the craziest part is the person who guessed the closest is the person I don't want to pull into call because I'm pretty sure they know all the cards already.
That means it's 33.
Well, how did they still not get it? There's no way. There's no way. Wait, unless Chica posted a number and he's trolling, or Poro. Okay, maybe this was too hard, guys. Maybe because no one's got the number yet. Maybe this was actually too hard. It's crazy. This is actually just too difficult. There we go. All right, Steven Lang. Send me a Discord DM, Steven Lang. We're gonna get you in the call here.
I was close to 33.
It's gonna mess up our cameras for a moment, but it's all good. Send me a Discord DM to OnceInLuv.
Everyone, get in here.
All right, Andy, you got to think of the next question to pull the next person into chat.
Oh yeah. Do you want me to do it now, or you want me to do it after he guesses?
Just think about it. After
right.
we'll announce it when they guess.
Thinking about it.
I like how I said Steven Lang DM me, and fucking Richard DM'd me twice. What? There's no way. No weighing right now.
No way. Queehug.
All right. Matt, I'm adding you to this call after you accept my friend request.
I don't even know that answer in Luxera's map.
Oh, we lost everyone. Oh, hello.
Hello, hello.
I don't think Andy knows to rejoin the call. Oh, there he is. All right. Okay. Yeah, you can ask one question, and then you can guess what it is. What's your one question?
What color is the card?
The color of the card is actually Andy. Want to answer?
Color of the card is blue.
Oh. Blue. Let's see.
Color of the card is blue.
Let's go with Vapor Jet Shield.
That is incorrect.
Vapor Jet Shield is a good guess though.
That's
good
a good
card.
One. I would love an alternate art of that.
That would be a gas card to put in SP2.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
All right. Well, thank you for trying. I appreciate
Thank you for playing. Thank you for
joining us.
All right, guys, have a good one.
Peace. All right, guys. Who next? What's the question?
I do have a question, and I remind you, please be willing to get on a call with us if you answer. All right. Which herb do you get by rolling the number 6?
Whoa, that's a good question.
Which herb do you get by rolling the number 6 when you get
I think I'm going to answer this wrong, but I think it's Springleaf.
See what the people think.
Surely they figured it out before I did, right? There's no way.
Do you get when you gather and roll the number 6?
Dude, Intrepid Highwayman alt art, Mitch would nut so hard.
Oh, he'd explode.
Well, that's three different answers really fast.
Flown got it. Wait,
it is Springleaf. Oh, because it's alphabetical, right?
I'm not sure. Probably that would make sense actually.
All right.
But it is Flown was correct.
All right, I'm adding you, Flan.
That was pretty good. 3 people got it wrong before him.
It's pretty funny that 3 people got it wrong.
I also used the starter deck dice. I just have a Springleaf in front of me.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
What is your one question?
What set is it from?
It's from SP2.
No, I mean, like which is it? Which set is the card originally? The
It
OG
is from
card?
Fractured Crown. And a reminder, it is a blue card.
It's a blue card from
blue
Fractured
Crown card. I mean, the Fractured Crown's easy because there's way less cards. So
There actually is way less. I was
That
almost
was a good-
unwilling
that
to
was a
answer
good
that
that's
question.
literally. All right, you know what? Let me. Ooh.
I mean, these were the
What
questions
they
to
do
ask.
Iron Diet.
What color is it? What sets it from?
I don't think they would do a fractal. I don't think they would do that. You know, okay. I'm gonna throw something out here. Song of Frost.
Let the snowflakes take the lead. It is indeed
Whoa!
Song of Frost.
What? Let's go.
Whoa, he got
I was like, I'm
it!
just looking for cards that are like good. I'm like, it's either like Frostbind or Song of Frost.
He's
So.
so smart.
Holy.
Holy. He's actually a genius, guys.
What? Sylvie? Sylvie's
It's
on
a
it?
Sylvie Song of Frost.
You know what? Get Alan out of there. We don't need that guy.
We no longer need Alan, guys. Alan
Alan
out.
So good.
Sylvie in. This is probably
it's
the
an
card that I'm-
SR too. Oh
it's
my
an SR.
god. Oh, no.
This card is an SR. This card is
Of course, it's an SR.
Yes!
Sylvie's on it.
Card looks so awesome.
Holy. You guys ready for Sylvie Song of Frost? SP2? It's an
This is
SR.
That's a crazy card.
This is another one of those cards where I think like having FTC foils is pretty good in general, just because those are also like there's a lot of them, but not a lot of people rip that anymore. So it's kind of hard to get 4 foil Song of Frost if you want 4 foil Song of Frost.
It's also just a good, like, this card is slowly seeing less play. But I think at the same time, like, people are realizing, hey, I should probably put Song of Frost back in my deck.
Yeah.
Right? How do you beat Second Wind? Song of Frost. How do you beat Slice and Dice? Song of Frost.
Yeah.
Right? How do you beat Shadow Strike? Song of Frost. Like, this card is going to see a lot more play again, and I think it's fantastic that it's going to be an SP2 card.
No, absolutely. I think it's just also just. I'm glad. This is a very gorgeous card. I think this card really exemplifies like what SP2 is supposed to look like in terms of card art. Where like I don't think this card would look good in just like a regular set because it's so out of nowhere. It's so unique. But in SP2 I think it fits right in and I think it's beautiful. Yeah, beautiful foil. I hope it looks more like set 1 foiling than set 4 foiling.
Apparently, the set 4 foiling was unintentional.
Yeah, it was too dark. They made a mistake.
That would make sense. Yeah.
The thing I'm hoping for, and I know Mitch will agree with me in this, is I hope that Song of Frost utilizes selective foiling instead of just making the entire card foil. You can see all the like snowflakes, all of the frost shards. There are different ways to do selective foiling on this art that would look fantastic. I think. Also like lighting with the way they do the foiling could be really important because you can see that there's like sunlight through portions of the card. So utilizing like all those angles could make this card one of the most beautiful foils in the game. But yeah, I mean, Promea Studios, they just pump out fantastic work. Carter, Song of Frost.
Yeah, big shout out. Big shout out.
Good one. It's a good one for sure. When you showed me this, I was like, oh my god, there's no way.
It looks so good, actually.
It's just such a nice card. I'm gonna make it bigger. I'm covering us up a little bit, but you guys can see it a little bit bigger. This card is it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
I love the trees in the background.
Let the snowflakes take the lead. It's so thematically well done.
Mm-hmm. I love the flowers in the hair. You got the flute. It just looks so good. Everything about this card just looks awesome.
You know what that means though? The Sylvie players really gotta figure out Water Sylvie.
Yeah, I figure out Water Sylvie, man.
Because you're not gonna play this. You're gonna play this in Water Allies. Come on.
I'll play this in Water Allen.
Water Allen.
We just replaced.
People have to figure out Water Tamer.
Just replace. I mean, we have Water Tamer on Omnidex. First name Syl, last name V.
Yeah, that's true.
We need a full Sylvie special set.
It was a recollection.
True. But yeah, what do you guys think? What do you rate this art? Is SP2 Song of Frost a 10 out of 10 for you? Is this a 5 out of 10? What do you guys think? I also, honestly, I really like that it's an SR and not an uncommon or a rare, because I feel like cards that are good being SRs is kind of nice because it means that the foils will hold good value over time.
Mm-hmm.
And this card will probably always be a staple.
I think for me the art's probably like a 9. It's one of the best arts for Grand Archive I think I've seen.
Are those snow-covered cherry blossoms in the background? AMB lore? Whoa.
There were just some cards in SP1 you were never happy to get, like Barrier Servant or something.
Hey,
there were just a few.
Love Barrier Servant. Art's so cute. Look,
I like the art.
I have a first ed foil Barrier Servant on my desk. They're so cute. Barrier Servant's the best, man. Totally not just because it's one of the best favorites.
And based on SP1, it's like the SRs are always playable cards at least. It was like Arcane Blast, Sweep, Rending, and
Snow Fairy.
Snow Fairy. So four like good cards, right? So so now we know at least Cremation and this, they're both good cards.
Yeah,
So
this is a 9 for me.
Yeah, I definitely think the art's awesome, and it's a playable card, so it's perfect.
I do think it's going to be hard for SP2 to match the playability of SP1. Because, like you mentioned, the SRs and the rares were Zephyr, Fireball, Reclaim, Cemetery Sentry, Freezing Hill, and then you had Barrier Serpent of Fishing Accent. But overall, it was like a lot of actually playable cards. Even the uncommons, you know, Swift Recruit, Woodland Squirrels, those two.
Yeah, I know people who were legitimately opening SP1 just to try and get Zephyrs because they couldn't get a regular Zephyr.
But yeah, Zephyrs
Yeah.
are so expensive now. Man. Yeah,
And
this is
they
this
ended
is
up
like
getting
this is
a
still a
CSR.
9 for me. It's still a 9 for me. I love this art. I think it's
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
love
a
this art
I'm a
too.
fan of Sylvie.
I'd
I think
probably give it a
Sylvie's
9
really
too.
cute.
Yeah, fan favorite and it's a good card, so it's like the perfect card to put in SP1.
A good one for
Well,
sure.
probably aside from a certain guide I think everyone wants.
City Guide,
Tinted.
Poggers. I've always wanted City Guide.
Yeah.
AMB City Guide. Materializations cost 1 less for every domain you own. All materializations, not just
that would be
champions.
kind of nuts. The Norris would go crazy with a card like that.
Yeah.
This was fun. This was fun. I really enjoyed spoiling stuff.
It was
And
a
to
good time.
talk about all the things. It was a good podcast. Good time. Podcast. Good time.
We'll try our best to cast a little more here and there, but you know, for your friends who missed it, I'll be sure to post this so people can watch it. Other than that, thank you guys for joining our guessing game. Lon, we will send you some extra bears, and thank you everyone for joining us.
alright.
That was really cool. Also, on that announcement, I will also be posting a spoiler on my channel, The Magic Library, which you can grab in the description below. Probably on Wednesday morning, but maybe tomorrow night if there's enough interest. We'll see. Maybe I'll do a Silidar and say X subscribers, and I'll post the spoiler right now. No, I can't do that. I have to make the video first. But thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you, Flan. Thank you, Andy, for taking time out of your day. I appreciate you all. I hope you guys enjoyed our little podcast talking about Ascent Taipei as well as about SP2. I will be volunteering at AX, so if you're coming to AX, come say hello to me. I'll see you there. Other than that, any last remarks, Andy?
I'll be at AX. I won't be volunteering, but I'll be there. So come say hi to me.
Cool.
Find me. Just find me in somewhere in the convention center.
True. The most
Bother me.
handsome man I know. It'd be hard not to find him, guys. Look at him. It's AndyK.
I'll be a crowd everywhere I go.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Make sure to join the Yeti Weekly this week. The Omni link is already created. If you're looking for the stream for it or the Omni link, you can check out upcoming lives on the Serene Balance production channel. It'll already be there. But other than that, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you on Thursday.
See you next one.
See ya.
All right, we're done. Dude, we had 61 peak concurrent viewers.